Hey, what's up? Dave with Brazos Valley Strength. Today, we're gonna do something different. I'm about to pack up all my stuff and head up to my old gym. We're going up to Brazos Valley Barbell today, and I'm gonna max out on the deadlift bar. So I'm gonna use straps, but that'll be the only kind of non-competition standard that we're gonna be going after. So kilo plates and everything, I'm gonna take a few of mine to make sure that I have unlimited weight, I guess, to get up as heavy as we possibly can. And then we'll come back here after the session is over and we'll talk about some of the differences between the deadlift bar and the power bar and maybe everything in between. So we'll see you up there.
Yeah, talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the fucks I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a fuck, that's what they don't understand.
Again like flu season, I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a fuck, I don't care. Did the shit by my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get him, I got him, I told him it's nothing. In the discussion, fuck all them feelings, I throw all my pain on percussion. Shit is disgusting. I hear them bragging about shit that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you all my spot at the feast. I've been on go mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty, talk about old shit. I'm on they ass now, can't get a pass now. I'm a cash cow, keeping it brash now. Niggas is trash now, I'ma spaz out. I've been killing my lows and living on highs. You see in the sky's the proof. You could just see in my eyes that there is no lies. I cannot disguise the truth. I've been ducked off, getting sucked off in my new merch, colored duck sauce on the new couch with my chucks on. Get the fuck on with that hate. I'm big cool on the small chat, cause I know now that I'm all that. Got a hawk guy on the ball cat, get the fuck out of my face.
Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the fucks I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me,
I'm back. Yeah, this day genuinely was really just for fun. It was a planned kind of YOLO day. Generally speaking, after competitions, I go to Brazos Valley Barbell and pull on the deadlift bar. Usually I use pound plates, and it's really just messing around. But I didn't do that this time, and actually since the competition, I've been planning this day, not really training for it, I wouldn't say that, but I just wanted to be in a more trained state to see what the deadlift bar feels like with kilo plates versus pound plates. So we're gonna try to make this video educational as much as we can, and you know, mostly it should be just fun. So if you're unfamiliar with it, the deadlift bar is a thinner and longer lifting bar, right? So a power bar generally is referring to kind of a standardized bar. Most commercial gyms have bars that we would call power bars, but usually for powerlifting competitions, they're a little bit more rigid, and the knurl is a little bit more aggressive. So a deadlift bar is specifically made to have people deadlift more on them because of the flex in the bar, and it's thinner and longer and all of that. So it presents some things that to me are silly, right? So this really, nothing that I say here is meant to like throw shade or, hate on people who use the deadlift bars, because I mean, it's cool. It gets a lot of attention for powerlifting overall. And I guess what I would say here, no matter what I say after this, is that strong people are strong, right? Like, people that you see pulling a whole lot of weight on deadlift bars are also going to be very good deadlifters on power bars. So, this is not meant to take away from, anybody that's like actually good on them, right? Dan Grigsby just a couple weeks ago made 1,000 look like a joke. And Jamal Browner has been up around that range for a while now. I mean, those guys would be incredible deadlifters without the bar or not, right? But to me, the deadlift bar kind of takes away some things from powerlifting in general. For one, it makes it very, very difficult to compare, from federation to federation. Obviously, there's already issues with drug tested versus non-drug tested. I mean, to me, I don't really think about those things, right? I don't compare a drug tested lifter pulling on a power bar to a non-drug tested lifter pulling on the deadlift bar, right? Like, it's just really hard to compare those two things, and I don't think that people should. So anyway, the deadlift bar also offers, for a lot of people, some unique advantages. With it being way wider, people can a lot of times take a wider stance than what they normally would. And I think you may see that with people like Dan Grigsby. Blake LeHue probably stands a little bit wider than he would on a power bar. Most likely, I mean, he's a smaller guy. And super good deadlifters, both those guys. And, they're taking advantage of the, rules within the system. So it is what it is. But I also think it allows some more moderate stances to do really well. I actually find that I feel better when I'm pulling on the deadlift bar, standing a little bit closer. Like, I can get a little bit better rotation. I'm not trying to cut the range of motion quite as much. I can get a little bit more power. The bar obviously has that slack in it, and so I can, still feel better and balanced and more comfortable and have a pretty consistent position on the deadlift bar. So I don't think that, it's just automatically people are going to take a wider stance. I think it may allow kind of all stances to feel a little bit better. But on that note, I do think that it probably offers a significantly bigger advantage to sumo deadlifters, more so than conventional deadlifters, right? Because what I just said, I'm a sumo deadlifter. Moving my stance in, I can get into pretty much the same position when I'm on a power bar, and I can have that closer stance so I can get a little bit more power, a little bit more comfort, a little bit more reliability out of my position when I'm using the deadlift bar, and the range of motion is still super short. But I don't think that those advantages are true for people who pull conventional. Like, slightly less range of motion on conventional does not have that same advantage that it would for a sumo deadlifter, right? And if you're a conventional deadlifter, try pulling off of blocks. A lot of times conventional deadlifters are worse with a small block than they are off the floor. So, I mean, it's not exactly the same thing. There's the range of motion, but there's also kind of the momentum associated with the bar. So, to me, I think I care more there, right? That it's not necessarily that the bar is difficult to compare like a stiff bar to a deadlift bar like across federations, but I do think that it offers advantages to certain types of lifters that it doesn't to others, right? And actually, on that note, it makes somebody like John Hack way more impressive to me, right? The guy obviously pulls conventional and still, deadlifted 900 pounds this last weekend, which is incredible to me because this is one area in the conversation of like sumo versus conventional that I absolutely believe that sumo is way, way better on a deadlift bar. So if you do pull on a deadlift bar, I would for sure recommend at least spending a little bit of time pulling sumo to see if potentially you can get your position a little bit better. Another common thing that you hear thrown around a little bit with deadlift bars is that it's actually harder than a power bar. It's not. If you ever hear that, just dismiss it right away. The deadlift bar is specifically made to make deadlifts easier, so it's not harder. But I guess what people mean by that is that the lockout can be weirder, right? Like the bar flexes and it can kind of bounce around. But with my deadlifts here, it's just easier, right? Like when they're really fast, you could see on some of my warm-ups that it's whipping around a little bit. Like I think the one that I had the most difficulty on at lockout was like right around 600. But then after that, like it slows down enough. And like once you kind of feel it, you slow down, you're just a little bit more deliberate. I pull on deadlift bars like once a year and I did not have issues with it. I locked out 400 kilos just fine. That is a silly thing. It's just wrong. And if you hear people saying it, I don't know. I think one of the ways in which it might be harder, and this is a stretch, is that people do get away with more, right? So a lot of times people who pull on deadlift bars have never really learned to pull slack well, right? So, the bar itself kind of gives you, it gives you opportunities to get away with a lot of bad techniques. So this is where you see a lot of people just ripping the bar off the floor, not wedging appropriately, not really using good technique. And so I think that those things lead to inconsistencies. So I guess what I would say there is that bad deadlifters may have more trouble with the deadlift bar because they've never learned to be good, where like a power bar is going to be a little bit more punishing, right? So they may learn those things a little bit faster, but the deadlift bar is not harder than a power bar. And maybe the final thought on this subject is that some things make the deadlift bar significantly easier, right? And this is another reason why I don't think the deadlift bar should be all that common. In the gym, if you use pound plates instead of kilo plates, it'll inflate the numbers a ton, right? Like last time I pulled on the deadlift bar, I did a triple with 855 pounds, almost locked out 900, and that was in an untrained state, just kind of going in and doing it. And then today I used the kilos, and it's way, way harder, right? So if you see people online, right, I guess doing what I did, just going in for the clout and stuff, but pulling with straps, right? Straps will make a really big difference on these bars because you can grip it a little bit closer, a little bit lower, and heighten all of the things that it's already doing. The closer that you grip, the more flex the bar gets, right? So a sumo deadlifter using straps, gripping the bar very close with pound plates is a way different thing than even a deadlift bar with kilo plates, somebody pulling conventional, right? Just the range of motion, the flex that they get is gonna be significantly different. So all of those things add up to just like a ton of variability. And then now you even see something like the Kabuki deadlift bar, which I think at first people were curious about even that it fit the specifications within competitions, and I guess it does. People are using it, but I used the Texas deadlift bar today, which is shorter than the Kabuki bar, so the Kabuki bar is noticeably wider. So who knows what that difference would have made. Would I have been able to pull 420 or more? I don't know. So all in all, I just wanted to do this for fun and to make this little video and, you know, get the content and get all the likes and all that kind of stuff. So this was definitely all for the clout, but I had fun doing it, and hopefully you had fun watching this video and learned a little bit. Next week I'll be starting a new block. So the video, I guess, next week will be an intro into what will be real training heading into the Corrupted Strength meet. I'm doing some new stuff right now, so I think next week's video should be fun and interesting for everybody, and you know, kind of getting back on the serious content train. So if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.